welcome to Knit Locally, and today we're going to talk about doing our heel turn on our Rose City Rollers knit along on our 9-inch circulars. Okay, so this is how we're going to do our heel turn on our 9-inch circulars, and the process is very similar. Again, you're only working these stitches. I just wanted to give you a visual. So just like any of my pattern, I'm going to work my 19 stitches, and then I'm going to slip as if to knit, slip as if to knit, put them back on the left and knit through the back. And again, there are several ways to slip, slip, knit. As long as you're doing one that you feel comfortable with and are consistent throughout, it's fine. Knit one, and then we're going to turn. We're going to slip this one, right? And then we're just going to purl across. I'm sorry, we're going to purl 7. So although we have 8 stitches here, 2, 4, 6, 8, we've only purled 7, right? That first slip stitch doesn't count, although it is on our needle. So we're going to actually purl 2 together here, if I can do that, and then purl 1. We're going to turn again, and for row 3 we're going to knit 8. So first we have to slip 1. So we're going to slip this first stitch, slip it as if to purl, and then knit 8. You'll see here that I'm actually 1 stitch before this gap. When you slip, knit 2 together, and then the purl 2 together, when you slip, knit, and then purl 2 together, it creates this gap here. And so what you're going to want to do is now when I'm slip, knitting, I'm going to slip this stitch, slip across the gap, and that's sort of how you know you've count enough stitches. I'm going to purl or knit those through the back loop, and then knit 1, and then I'm going to work across again. And essentially you're going to keep doing this. So I'm going to slip this stitch, and then I'm just going to purl across until I get to that next gap. And this is actually, I don't even count because I just need to purl across the stitches until I get to the stitch before this gap. And you can see that gap there. So I just work, and the pattern says to work the 3-4 row repeat until we've worked all the stitches. So essentially what we're doing is we see those 2 stitches across the gap. I'm going to purl them together and then purl 1, turn my work. I'm going to slip this knit stitch and knit across. And I'm going to just keep doing this pattern until I have worked all my stitches. And depending on which size you're making, whether it's the small, medium, or large, you'll either end on a purl 2 together and have no stitches left, or a purl 2 together, knit 1. And it doesn't matter. It just is a stitch count situation. And then when you're done, see, so I'm gonna work this stitch, then I know I've worked enough because I have this gap. So then I'm going to slip, slip, knit through the back loop there, and then knit 1. Sometimes forget that knit 1, and you're again creating this gap. So I'm going to continue to work this pattern, and then let me show you what happens at the end. Okay, so we can see we've worked all of our stitches, and we've got our nice little heel cup worked here, and we're to our last 3 stitches. So we're going to slip, slip, knit together through the back, and knit 1, right? So my pattern, the number of stitches I was working, because I'm doing 64, that was the end of my row. And so then you don't really have to slip this first stitch because it's ready to be worked. So you just knit like normal, and you're going to purl all the way across here. And these 9-inch circulars are a little bit fiddly, but anyway, I'm just gonna purl all the way across. Okay, so now we're back to our last 3 stitches. What we're going to do is we're going to purl these 2 together, purl this last one, and flip. Okay, now we are actually, so we have this nice little heel cup, right? This nice little heel flap, or heel turn. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to actually work across these stitches. We're going to place a marker. Then we're going to pick up, this is for the gusset, we're going to pick up these stitches, work all the way to the top of the foot, pick up these stitches, come to start again. So we're going to do that on our next video, and that's working the gusset.